Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fork, Mike, Knife, Season 3, Episode 4. Our guest this week is Paul Cullen. Paul is a former bassist for the band Bad Company. He's also an acclaimed professional chef. He's served over 10,000 people over the last 5 years. Not only that, he's a level 2 sommelier specializing in Italian wines. He owns and runs Paul's Italian Kitchen and Market in Lewis, Delaware, which if you don't know where that is, it's right outside Rehoboth Beach. Please welcome to Fork, Mike, Knife, Paul Cullen. How you doing, Paul?
Hey guys.
Hey, Paul.
Hello from Lewis,
Yay.
Delaware.
We got it right.
Hey, I know.
Great.
Not lose, but lose.
Not lose.
Yes.
I had to ask. I did ask earlier.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for
Thanks for
coming
having.
on. I know that you found out about us online. I think you were watching one of our episodes with our good friend Pat McGee.
Yeah. So I have a new concert room that I showed you pictures of earlier. Maybe we'll swing around later and I'll show everybody else.
Yeah,
and it's
please
an
do.
intimate concert room for 40 people, and we do a dinner and a concert here often. And last night we featured Keith Mack, who was the original guitar player in Scandal. Remember, I Am the Warrior?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And he played with Joe Cocker also, and recently Cyndi Lauper. So
Very cool.
he played. So we do a 4-course dinner with wine and a concert. In fact, we're going to have Robert Randolph is going to be here April 15th and 16th. We haven't released the dates yet, but I just confirmed that a couple days ago. And yeah, so it's
you heard
cool,
it here
it's
first.
cool sort of
On Fork, Mike.
You
Knife.
did actually.
Rush and
I
get
know.
your tickets.
So he actually played here grand opening week, which we couldn't really tell anybody because we really weren't open yet. So
Gotcha.
he's great. He's coming back, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So yeah, so we have a cool place where we do concerts and a dinner, and then we have a market, which is where we're in now. And this is our new cooking demo kitchen that we're going to make into, so I can start doing some more stuff like this. Today I just threw it together, but we're kind of decorating it as we go. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Having a lot of fun cooking, pouring, and playing for people.
What else? Music, wine, and some food. Sounds fantastic. Yeah. What else could you want?
I don't know anything. Nothing except be in that country right there. Yeah. In Italy.
So tell us. Most people, I think, that watch this show probably are not familiar with you. And what can you tell us about being in Bad Company, and then what you're doing these days music-wise, as well as the kitchen?
So the short story is, also I have an ebook that I'll share with everybody that's watching, and I'll send it to you guys, and you could share it however you want to share it. It's from Bad Company to Good Company, and it has the story on how I got there, and then 25 recipes also.
That's fantastic.
And, that's awesome.
A lot of those.
Yeah, our audience would love that.
The recipes, a lot are my grandmother Talia Farrow and my mom Nancy. So I'm Italian on my mom's side. So I'm Italian and Irish right down the middle. And so I think I like to drink a little bit. Would you say Irish and Italian? Yeah. So I have a book, and I'll share that with you. The short story is I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and I left the day after I graduated high school for Florida. Helped my parents open a dry cleaning business. While I was down there, I decided to play guitar. And luckily, I met a guy who was going to give me lessons, and he said I should play bass instead. And I listened to him, thank God. And so I picked up bass at the age of 20 years old. And after a hell of a lot of playing and practicing, I got the audition with Bad Company when I was 30 years old, so 10 years later. And they flew me to London. I auditioned, got the job that day, and then I played with them for a little over 4 years, somewhere in that range. I was a little foggy, so I don't remember the dates exactly. So I got with the band, and it's everything you would imagine it would be and more. people say, oh, it must have been a tough life. I'm like, no, it was freaking awesome. I played in front of, 12, 14,000 people every night. And I got to ride on a $1 million tour bus where I had my first real red wine in my life. That was Chateauneuf de Pape. That was the Mick Ralph's favorite wine. And so we were on a tour bus and or in a Ritz-Carlton or playing in front of 20,000 people. So there was nothing bad about that at all. And so I did that and had way too much fun. And if there's such a thing as too much fun, I had too much fun. And then that ended, not because of my choice, but it ended. You'll have to read the book. Sometimes things happen, and I'm not sure why in life, but it's all good, though. It all turned out really good in the end. It took me a while to find my niche, and that was actually about 2007. I put down my bass after 27 years of playing bass and started writing my own songs. Now I have 5 solo CDs out, and which I'm really proud of, because in 2006 I didn't have any solo CDs, so that started the sort of pivot or reinvention, if you want to call it, from being a rock bass player to do what I do now. So about 2014, I had some friends over for dinner, and there was like 10 of us. I made, Italian, paired some wines, and my friend came up and said, hey, can you do this for my wife's birthday party, who's a friend of mine, a surprise party? And I said, sure, no problem. And he goes, can you bring your guitar afterwards and play a couple songs? And I said,
dinner and a show.
Dinner and a concert. And
for sure.
Right.
Well,
at
we
that
all start
time,
from somewhere, and we go through changes. It sounds like you've gone through quite a few. I think everybody will enjoy getting the deeper dive when they get the ebook. So thanks ahead of time for sharing that.
What's your history with the Big Bad Company?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to date myself. My very first concert back in the dark ages.
What year?
In the 70s. I went to see Bad Company. So
wow, that's awesome.
So when you reached out to us, I'm like, wow, that's like coming full circle.
Serendipity. Yeah. And a similar story when you were talking about your friend that said, hey, could you come, cater a dinner for us? We put on a little festival in our backyard in 2010. And one of the artists that played that festival asked if we would help promote a show of his. And here we are, 11 years later, and now we do a bunch of these mini festivals. Yeah. So, sometimes you just need a little push. Somebody just has to ask.
Yeah. Well, we did for a long time. We did, individual shows where we would, have either a solo artist or pair them with a local artist as the opener, or we bring in, a couple of artists together that like to, they were out on a tour and it worked for them to come into our area. But kind of how we blended the music and food on our side, Billy is a trained chef, and I owned a commercial bakery for almost 10 years and did a lot of catering for corporate events, weddings, things like that. Nice. So that just kind of all meshed together. And when we would hold these shows, part of it was we were in a more outside the big city in Virginia, outside DC. And the artists would stay with us after the show. We would hold a full-on huge family meal. So it was fun to be in the kitchen with the artists and just hanging out afterwards. And it just kind of morphed into this. So between the festivals that we do,
cool. Awesome.
and our little video show here, we really get to keep our fingers in on all the things that we like. So.
Well, this show is about chatting with you and cooking. So maybe we should let's get to the cooking a little bit, because we can continue to talk while we cook.
So you chose a dish to make, and I think you're going to make an extra dish as well. And then we chose a couple of dishes to make to kind of pair with that, almost from a brunch perspective. Leaning more towards the savory than the sweet.
Right, me too. I got guanciale and eggs. So bacon and eggs.
Yes.
So first,
absolutely.
I just got finished with my market. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine because I'm parched.
We'll join you.
Sounds like a good idea.
Tell us what you're pouring.
So this is our niece, not our niece, like my client said last night. Oh, is it your niece? No, it's our niece.
No.
Our niece is in Italian, means little rascal, and so it comes from the Barolo region of Italy, in Piemonte. Barolo, you know that. So we don't say it out loud because people get mad, but it's like the white Barolo. So it's grown in the same region. It's super creamy, not acidic, very beautiful minerality to it. It's just a lovely white wine. It's one of my favorite white wines. In fact, this vineyard is doing my private label, which will have this label, which is a guitar.
Right.
That's my wine from Tuscany, where we take people. We can talk about that later. But so they're gonna do a Arnaise for me and a Barbera d'Asti. So
Nice.
I'm really excited about that. Yeah,
That sounds fantastic.
So cheers. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers
This is so
to
cool.
you.
Cheers. Yeah.
We decided to grab a cab. This is a 2015 cab from Napa. If I would have thought ahead, I would have loved to have gotten some of what you're drinking, but this doesn't suck either. So. Cheers.
Yeah.
All right, so give us the intro to
hey, that's our
is.
hashtag.
What's this hashtag?
I'm sorry.
What's the hashtag?
Oh, hashtag this doesn't suck.
Oh. That's good. So give us an intro to what you're making today, Paul.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make our family salad. So like I said, I grew up in an Italian family, and Italian food is based off of and grown off of people that didn't have a lot of money. So we call it peasant food, whatever you want to call it. So this salad was on our table at all times, at least every other day, because it didn't cost much and it was really good. So in Italian, it's called ensalata di cavolo, which sounds a lot sexier than cabbage salad. So
somehow I feel like you've got your Irish influence happening with your Italian influence.
I think so, just for this one dish. But actually, it's pretty popular in Italy too, especially people that didn't have money to have arugula or rocket or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is just take some cabbage and slice it as thin as possible. I mean, I have a slice I normally use, but I'll just kind of take my finger like that and just kind of almost shaving it, because that's more area or less area that the olive oil will get on, and it won't be so bitey and crunchy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a quick one here. So
that's
pretty
great.
much that's the size of it. Throw it in the bowl, and you could use red onion, or I prefer shallots. The shallots are just a little bit more like garlic. So I'll do the same thing. Slice it really thin, and I'm probably using like a half a shallot. This is probably enough for like 2 people.
Oh, good.
Which, when I'm cooking at home, it's just me and my wife. So,
right.
Okay. Now I'm going to make a little
Hey,
red
Paul?
wine. Yeah.
Paul, while you're doing that, we want to get things going here as well. And so,
Okay, go ahead.
Kind of paired with your salad, and then you also, I think, might have some pasta coming up, which we'll get to in a minute. We're going to make an Italian breakfast, and so Cheryl is pretty well known for her tomato gravy, her tomato sauce,
and it's a quick one, so it doesn't have to cook all day long. It's a very simple sauce.
I'm going to start with some polenta that I'm going to make, and I can kind of get that started as well, and then later we're going to drop that in a pan, the tomato sauce and some egg, and then put it over some polenta. But while you're working on, it looks like a vinaigrette coming up, we'll let Cheryl to get started on her tomato sauce.
Stone ground mustard, stone ground. Cool. So I started with my so red wine vinegar. I actually have my own private label from Emilia Romagna, red wine vinegar, and then also I have my my own olive oil from Sicily. It's called Paul's Rockin' and Rollin' Olive Oil.
That looks amazing.
So I'm going to do like 1/3 of the red wine vinegar and 2/3 olive oil. I have my own garlic salt also. This is called Paul's Dime Bag Garlic Salt. Oh, I got it right here. Never mind.
If you say so, Paul.
Yeah, dime bag. Yeah. I have nickel bag Tuscan spice too. So a little bit of stone ground mustard. And I have this really cool emulsion blender. You guys ever seen this?
Oh yeah, we have one.
They're so cool. Of course you do. Why did I ask that?
It's like a manual one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a manual one. Yeah, you press it up and down and it spins. Yeah, I'm going to show it. This is too cool. I got to show you in the camera. See how it spins?
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool, Paul.
Isn't that cool? Yep. That's when you don't have electricity.
So you can do that with one hand, pour the olive oil in with the other.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So I'm going to put a little of my garlic salt in there. You don't have to put a lot because this the salt is pretty heavy in here. And that's it. So the vinaigrette's made. I'm just going to pour it over the cabbage and let it sit and get happy for a while. What are you guys working on?
Well, I am sweating some Vidalia onions. I like to use a sweet onion in my sauce.
Yeah, I do too.
A little bit of garlic. And then I'm going to throw some herbs and some crushed tomatoes and let that come to a simmer because we have to put this in the oven for the last stage. So the sauce needs to be warm going into the pan.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You making the polenta, Bill?
I am. So what I did is I brought 2 cups of chicken stock. Actually, I'm not using chicken stock. I'm using vegetable stock. I brought that up to a boil. Right. So I will just bring that back up to a boil. It shouldn't take too long because it was boiling already. And, so one thing is polenta is corn. And here in the South, we have grits. And it's really the same thing. So instead of using polenta today, I actually am using grits. The big difference between, polenta and grits is polenta is obviously yellow corn. Grits is typically white corn. So I've got a half cup of grits. And obviously I could add some garlic or some onion to my, in this case, grits. But today what I decided to do is I've got some nice saffron. So I'm going to add a little bit of saffron to my grits and turn them yellow. So we should have our vegetable stock up to a boil here. And then I'm slowly going to begin to add my, in this case, grits into my veggie stock.
Nice. Last night I cooked for 17 people over near Baltimore, and I did polenta. And what I did is it was chicken cacciatore, but I cooked the chicken off in chicken thighs only in white wine in my garlic salt and braised them, and which make them really tender. And then I took that broth and actually made the polenta with that broth. So,
that's fantastic. Nice.
Yeah, so basically it was white wine and chicken fat. And then that was the basis for the polenta, and it was freaking off the charts. So you guys know what this is, right? Look familiar? Anybody
I can't
know?
quite see it. What is it?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time determining.
Here,
it looks like bacon.
Here, look.
Oh, is it?
Is it pork belly?
It's the how do you pronounce it? Guanciale?
Guanciale.
Guanciale.
Yep.
I mean, we've been watching the whole Stanley Tucci series on CSN.
Awesome.
I should know that.
I know, because that is when they do carbonara, it is guanciale, Of course, you can use pancetta, and the other one I use is speck. Yeah, and people, I hear it all the time.
Before.
Yeah, people all the time go, "Oh, pancetta's American bacon." It's really not. Pancetta's not smoked. So if anything is like American bacon, it would be speck. But anyway, guanciale was used in Rome, as you saw, for a lot of dishes, and including carbonara and amatriciana, because again, it was really cheap, but it was all fat basically. So I'm going to go ahead and start my carbonara with it.
All right. I think my onions are about to the texture that I want, and it really is just a combination of Italian seasonings, some crushed red pepper, salt, pepper, and the tomatoes, the garlic, and the onions. So super simple. I know it's not a complicated Italian grandma's recipe, but it works.
Well, actually, that is my grandmother's recipe. You're pretty close.
Well, there you go.
It doesn't have to be doesn't have to be complicated.
Well, I feel much better.
Yes, definitely. So I got the guanciale in the pan. I just add just a little bit of olive oil. And my pan over here. So that's what I have now. I'm going to add a little bit more because guanciale has a really tough skin on it. You got to make sure and get the skin off of it.
Yeah. We did pork belly a week ago, and man.
Oh, nice.
There's just nothing better than a big slap of pork.
That's what she said.
Hey, Nina. My assistant, Nina. Come on in real quick. Say hi to everybody. This is Nina. Nina's from Virginia also. She's from Virginia.
Hey, Nina.
Nina's my work wife. Everybody should have one. Where are you from? Spotsylvania, Virginia. That's where
my bakery was in Fredericksburg.
Oh, Fredericksburg. Her bakery was in Fredericksburg. Yeah. We'll hook up later. Yeah, she's from Virginia, and she hooked me up with Amy. What's her name? From A Little Cheerful. You guys know A Little Cheerful? She's got a look her up, Little Cheerful. We're gonna do an event Memorial Day weekend. We're gonna be in Virginia. We're doing 100 people outside at her property, and her company's called A Little Cheerful. Yeah, she's super cool. Yeah. Yeah, we have a Virginia connection.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you got going on over there?
Well, we got to cook our.
How are you guys doing?
Got to cook our grits for about 10 minutes, and I'm just going to wait for that to finish. We've got about 6 minutes or so left, and then I'll go ahead and add a little bit of saffron. What I did is I took some saffron and I added it to some vegetable stock, and we're going to strain out the saffron itself so that we just have the flavored liquid, and we'll add that at the end just to color and flavor the grits.
So I'm going to go ahead and drop my pasta. It takes about 13 minutes. This is what we use. It's mancini from Emilia-Romagna, my favorite region in all of Italy, that's where Bologna and Parma. So it has my favorite wine, which is Lambrusco. It has prosciutto, Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano, and balsamic vinegar. I mean, what else do you need, right?
Agreed.
Nope, we're with you.
So this pasta is so. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to do a couple of things really quick. I'm making a panna cotta for dessert, and it's going to be a cardamom vanilla panna cotta, nice. Which everybody thinks it's really hard to make. It's super simple, basically 3 steps and then refrigeration. So what I've done is I pre-measured all my ingredients just to make today's show go a little more efficiently. I have my cardamom pods in some whole milk, and I am going to take 1 bag of gelatin, and I'm just going to put that over the top and let that bloom a little bit. I'm going to warm this up, not to boil, just to a simmer. And that way you make sure that the gelatin is fully melted. And then I'm going to add half and half sugar vanilla into that mixture. Let that blend a little bit until it's back to a steam. I'm going to strain it out so that those cardamom pods, while they've had time to open up and kind of infuse their aroma and flavor into the milk, I'll strain that out, mix it with some sour cream. The one trick that is something you just need to know is when you do go to pour that warm liquid to blend it into the sour cream, do it in a little bit at a time. It's like tempering that sour cream so it doesn't break on you. Then you throw it into whatever vessel you want to serve it in and put it in the fridge. And we usually do ours the night before. So I'm going to work on that while Billy and you move back to your recipes.
Hey, Paul, while your pasta is cooking, I thought maybe we could show a video.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, if you're going to show the Matthew one.
Yeah, so maybe you can set that up a little bit. I know we've got you playing guitar. Is this with you in Italy? And who's Matthew?
It is. So Matthew, sadly, well, he was a restaurateur in our area and a friend of ours. Sadly, he passed away, motorcycle accident in India. And so I wrote this instrumental song for him. And the first time I ever played it was with my friend who's violinist Alessandro Golini at Matthew's favorite vineyard in Tuscany, which is in the Marima area and of Tuscany. And so this is the first time we ever played the song together. We never rehearsed it. It just totally off the cuff, and I couldn't be prouder. In fact, I'll probably, get a little emotional while watching it. Yes. No. It's called Matthew.
Well, here it is. We'll be back in about 4 minutes. Yeah. Hey, Paul, that was amazing. That was what an amazing tribute to your friend.
Thank you. Thanks. The violinist is Alessandro. I played with him now 5 times since that day, and that was 2015, I think. And every time I take people to Italy, it's always a special treat that me and Alessandro get to play together. So
absolutely. That's another one of the things that we didn't talk about is you host trips to Italy.
Yep. Yeah, of course. This last 12 months has not been good, but we're slated to take people in September we're doing a river cruise in Venice first, and then right after that we're going to the vineyard that does my wine in near Montalcino, right in the Brunello Montalcino area, and so we're hoping that goes off. We have 2. You can do one or the other, or you can do both back to back. And then in 2022 we have 2 tall sailing ship trips from Cannes, France to we'll actually be in Monte Carlo for the Grand Prix, and then to Rome. And then if you want to stay on, we're doing Rome to Sicily, and we're hitting all the little islands in between, all in here.
Could you use
one of
some
them's
sous chefs? We're available.
Yeah, you're only you're 10th on the list. If it works out, I'll let you know. No. Yeah.
How many people go in your group?
So normally it's in the 20 to 24 region area. The villa the vineyard does my wine has a 16-bedroom villa, so we can do up to 30 people there. But the tall sailing ships can be pretty big. We had 56 people going last year, and it got canceled. So those are a tall sailing ship. It has the back opens up, so when you're in port, you can swim off the back of the ship. And there's only 200 people on the ship, and we had 56 going last year, and it got canceled. So it's the only ship. It's the only ship of that size that actually sails, like really sails. Like they shut the motors off, and So yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It does. It really does.
Cool.
I'm going to just show you really quick. I talked about tempering. This is the sour cream. This is the warm. Yep. It almost looks like custard in a way, just because of all that heavy cream and just the yumminess from the sugar and the vanilla and the cardamom. I've already strained out all the cardamom pods. And what I'm doing is just basically adding a little amount so that we can temper this sour cream. Similar to if you were making a custard, when you reintroduce warm and cold and anything that'll break, especially eggs. But there is no eggs in this. There's plenty of dairy, but no eggs. I usually get about half of the mixture in, give it a really good swish, and then just put the rest of it in, you know, just as long as it's been, like I can feel the temperature of the bowl and know that everything's perfectly fine to introduce the rest of the liquid. And you can see all those specks of yummy vanilla. I don't know about when you make desserts, Paul, but I like to use vanilla paste more than any of the extracts. I just feel like
paste.
It's a
deeper, richer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Deeper and richer. Yeah.
Yep,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so this is good, and I'm going to turn you over to Bill.
Okay.
And then we're going to do carbonara.
Go, Bill,
go,
go.
go. So what I wanted to do was, what I want to get the Italian breakfast, the tomato sauce and the eggs in the oven so that they have, 5-6 minutes to cook, and we'll throw it back over to you. So I actually have my cast iron pan here, which I'm going to throw in the oven. I've got to heat it up so that it's warm. You don't need to do that, but I wanted to speed things up a little bit. We're going to take some of Cheryl's tomato sauce, and we're going to begin to, let's turn that down. Maybe that's a little too hot.
So who's going to invent smell-o-vision?
Somebody at Facebook. All right.
Somebody's
so
got
the other thing is I put the eggs, or in this case, one egg at a time, into my little ramekin here, and I want to try and get a little bit of a well going here, so that we keep it as condensed as possible. So we'll get 2 more eggs, since there's 3 of us here, Cheryl and I and Amy. And Cheryl, can you grab me a pot holder? Yep.
So isn't that dish called eggs in purgatory? Have you ever heard that?
Yeah. It is.
Yep.
All right, so let's get this up and into the oven. Let me turn my flame off. And so we've got an oven going, it's preheated at 400. All right, there we go. Paul, we'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, so now I'm going to make the magic mixture of farm fresh eggs, and my pasta's done. Cool. Farm fresh eggs, and I'm going to do, because if this would be like for me and my wife, about a half a pound, I do 2 eggs and then 1 yolk, and these are pretty big eggs. So they do 1 yolk here. There we go. Okay, so we got that, and then I just happen to have 36-month-old Parmesan Reggiano. Yeah, just happen to have it, and I'm gonna do about maybe a half a cup to 3/4. As most Italians, they don't measure anything. My grandmother never measured anything. All right, so I'm gonna check that out, see if it's the right consistency. I can tell because I've done this several times. So I'm gonna use my handmade whisk, emulsion blender, and let's see here. Oh yeah. Luckily, these are farm fresh eggs. Are nice and orange, like the ones that you get in Italy, because they're corn-fed chickens. That's when you go to Italy and have eggs, like carbonara or something. It's so orange. I love it. All right, that looks pretty good. Here, I'll just kind of give you an idea what the consistency is. Then the cool part about what you do here, there we go. Oh, so that's kind of the consistency of it. Yeah, next time I'm having a cameraman.
Hey, Paul, we did have a comment come in from online, and
okay.
John Corrado wants to make sure you have a new hashtag called Paul's Dime Bag.
Yeah, it's right here. Paul's Dime Bag. Hashtag Paul's Dime Bag.
Paul's Dime Bag.
That even rhymes, John. That even rhymes.
All
right.
A dime bag in every kitchen.
That's right. You got to have one. I mean, come on. I grew up in the 70s, So pretty much that's it. Of course, if you add cream to it, then don't even ever call me because you're not supposed to add cream to this. It truly is just eggs and cheese, and that's it. I salted the water really good, so the pasta's going to be nice and salty. The guanciale, which is done now, that's salty. So you got to be really careful on what you add. Also, I know personally I'm going to add some pepper right at the end. So what I'm going to do now, the guanciale's done. I turn off the heat, and I'm going to add the pasta. You guys can see that. So it's making a nice sizzling noise, as it should. Yep. Okay, so now it's off. We don't want the heat on at all because I'm going to temper it just like Cheryl did her dessert. Because if you don't, then you're going to have scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs, right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit
Not
of
the carbonara you were after.
Right. So there we go. That's looking beautiful. You want it to be silky, creamy. I mean, that's what carbonara is. And that's just like I've had in Rome, just like cacio e pepe, those kind of dishes.
Absolutely.
Looking good. Yeah, that's, the thing about Rome is people are like, oh, it's touristy. Yeah, but you got to know somebody that knows the back alley tours and stuff and restaurants, because Rome food is, as you saw in Stanley Tucci, is amazing.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything mainstream when I travel. It has to be where the locals would go or where I can learn something, find a new ingredient.
That's why you need to go with me.
How are you liking that Stanley Tucci show?
I love it.
Yeah, isn't it great?
It should be me, but
it should be you.
Well, maybe you need to do that when you go on your next trip over there.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. So, okay.
All right,
so
you need camera crew then.
I'm going to kind of show you. So I'm just going to kind of show a little bit now.
Sure.
Looks pretty darn good. So, but what I do notice is that it's a little bit sort of thick. So the best thing to do is always add the water from the pasta if you need to just thin it out a little bit, because now we got starchy water, right? There we go.
That's a great tip, and a lot of people forget that that's what that's for, and they cook their pasta, they pour all the water down the drain, and it's like, no, I'll add some into my sauce, or I'll add it into carbonara like you're doing. There's so many ways that you can utilize that water.
For sure. And then if you strain it and then rinse the pasta, you just rinsed all the flavor off too. I hate that. They put it into a strainer, shake it, put cold water, and then what you did, you just took all the starch off, So I highly tell people not to do that. So this looks pretty good. I'm gonna plate it and show everybody real quick. And now, oh yeah.
Can we get guanciale at your shop?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. As soon as I get my second shot.
Yes, you guys got to come down. So I'm a pepper freak, so I'm gonna just add just a little bit of pepper on it.
Absolutely.
And I have these. You see these ones? They run on batteries. You just press the button.
Yeah.
They're freaking brilliant. I love them.
Hang on. We'll show you
got
ours.
one too?
It's well used.
Ours is well used, but do you see the brand?
Oh yeah.
Vic Firth.
Oh cool. Oh yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh my God, that is great.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So we do it the old-fashioned way.
Drumsticks and pepper grinders. That's all they do.
I love it. Okay, so here.
Oh my gosh, look.
The dish.
Beautiful.
Oh,
fantastic.
That's fantastic. Don't forget to take a still picture and send that to Bill.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll do that now. So don't forget.
Yep. We're about ready to finish.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. Amy, if I could get you to follow me over here.
I'm gonna check the places with you.
My assistant Nina's over here salivating.
All right.
She's so hungry.
So we're gonna finish off the grit / polenta. The first thing I'm gonna do, I could use a spoon, is I want to add a little bit of butter to it, so we get some good flavor and some good fat from the butter. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that into our grit / polenta. That was about 2 tablespoons. a little more wouldn't hurt as well. Since it's been sitting here, it's been setting up just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put in our saffron. Cheryl's freaking out saying not all of it. But I did want to strain out the saffron leaves themselves. And we can see, you know what? Can you go ahead and give me the rest?
Yeah, does it need the moisture?
Yeah, it needs the moisture.
Okay, good.
Okay, so go ahead and stir that in. And we've loosened it up a little bit. And we've made it a little bit more yellow. I can definitely smell that saffron earthiness to it. And then the last thing we're going to do is finish it off with some cheese, just like we would a good risotto. Finish it off with some butter and some cheese. I don't have the Parmesan Reggiano that you have. I've got some aged Asiago, but it's got some great flavor. And I'm going to go ahead and take the block cheese and go ahead and begin to grade that into our just using our microplane here. A good hefty amount of cheese. Whoop, we don't want that big chunk in there. But if you can see now, we've got a nice amount of cheese, and we'll go ahead and blend that in. Is that done? All right. So we'll go ahead and plate this up over here. We're going to use a bowl, obviously. So it doesn't run away. And I'll turn things over to Cheryl.
Wow.
We've got the tomato sauce and the egg that has just come out of the oven. We just want to scoop that up and drop it right on top of that that polenta.
Wow. We might have to serve that for a Sunday brunch here at Paul's Kitchen. We might have to do something.
I think we're serving it at Bill and Cheryl.
I think you should.
Oh, yeah.
And then we, of course,
oh,
like
there you go. There you
a
go.
little bit of fresh ground black pepper on top.
Yep. Wow.
All right.
And then all we've got is one more thing to do, and that is garnish these lovely panna cottas. So we used Bill's mom's Waterford, so we got a little fancy today. I've done a variety of sauces, you know, whipped creams, chantilly cream, you know, whatever you want to top it with. It's already fairly rich, but it's not an overly sweet dessert. So what I wanted to do was give it a little bit more texture and then a little added flavor with some shaved chocolate. And you can use anything you want. I just went ahead and used a 60% dark chocolate by Ghirardelli, but you can get really fancy. Give that a nice coating. And it doesn't overpower. You know, remember, we've got cardamom in this one. You don't want to lose that, and you want to find things that are complementary to it. All right, and the last thing is I took some pistachios, wanted to give it a little bit of a crunch, chop those up. And that is our cardamom infused panna cotta.
That looks amazing. Oh my God. I need to learn how to make it. I need to learn how to make that for my in-home dining events for my clients. They'll love that.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, we've gotten really kind of kooky at times, and we use silicone molds. So it works really well with that. You just have to put a little extra gelatin in it, because when you go to take it out, panna cotta is very tender. So you need that little bit of structure. So
wow, that's great.
So what we're going to do, we'll take pictures and we're going to share recipes on the Facebook page. And we'll give the link to the book, or however you want to share that. Feel free to use us to use this program with your fan base and with your guests.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. I love it.
Hey, Paul, thanks so much for joining us today. This has been a blast.
It really has
It's been great to get to know you. We would love to come up to Lewis and check out the market. Of course, you're welcome to come down to Kitty Hawk
anytime.
Hang out at the beach, bring a couple of dime bags with you, and we'll
you
have
got
a good
it.
time.
Yeah, it would be great.
Why don't we close out with a classic Bad Company song? I believe you're playing bass in this one.
Yeah.
Anything you want to tell us about this video?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'd only been in the band for about a month, and next thing I knew, I was flying to LA to do the video, which was on MTV back when MTV was cool.
You mean back when MTV showed videos and had music?
Yeah, exactly. Like real music. Yeah.
I remember those days.
It was actually filmed where the old set of MASH. Remember the show MASH?
Wow, cool.
It was filmed there. Yeah. So anyways, I just got in the band, and here I was in LA, and I got to party with the first night I was there. I partied with Dennis Quaid and Bruce Willis and the bass player from The Who and Yes, and a whole bunch of people. I was like, it was so surreal. I couldn't even. I wish we had cell phones back then. I could have done selfies with them, but oh well.
Yeah.
But hey,
well,
thanks for having me on.
Reaching out. Thanks for being here today. Thanks to your team for supporting you, and hopefully we will chat soon.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Paul.
Ciao for now.